everybody. Happy Valentine's Day. February 14th. Welcome to the February 14th evening council meeting. Call it to order, and council, can we have an adoption of the minutes from the 23rd Committee of the Whole, Special Council, Regular Council? Are there any errors or omissions that you've spotted? Okay. A motion to adopt, please. Councillor Peake, Councillor Holmes. All in favor? Thank you. Passed. Okay. Motion to adopt this evening's agenda. Do you have any amendments or anything?
No.
No. Okay. Motion to adopt, please. Councillor Carlson, Councillor Barkwell. All in favor? Thank you. Carried. I guess we have no delegations tonight, since we had 50 or 60 this morning. Okay, racing right along. 6.0, public comment opportunity. And as it's pointed out there, 15 minutes in total potential. And if you please, just 2 minutes per speaker. And anything that's highlighted in yellow is up for grabs in terms of making any comment. So is there anybody that'd like to speak to a highlighted item, please? Okay. Anybody else?
Oh, about the petition?
That the 12.1 is highlighted, yes.
Okay, I just want to know why, if
Can you go to the lectern, please, and identify yourself? And these questions are, anything on 12.1 is strictly limited to the question of the petition itself?
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
Why was an online petition allowed for a Stop the Swap if it's not allowed for this?
Have an answer.
Well, council will debate that in the conversation on the agenda item today. They'll debate exactly that.
What's up for debate?
Well, that council will discuss that when the subject comes up in 12.
She's wondering why it isn't.
No, because council will determine whether to include it or not.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah.
It was included in the Stop the Swap one, was it not?
I don't recall.
Right. We should wait till the subject comes up, and then council will have a conversation.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, moving on to 12. Oh, pardon me. We should, I guess we're good there. Got jumped ahead, I'm sorry. Okay, for my mayor's report is the next item, 7.1. Of course, the subject on most people's minds that's coming up is our water shutoff for PVR 10. It's March 3rd to 6th. Council and staff have been working hard on this project for months, and we are in the final preparation stages now. The good news is that we will have an alternate source of water for all but approximately 50 properties. In those cases, a water supply will be located nearby. The alternate source of water will not be drinkable, so you must supply your own drinking water. A boil water advisory will be in place starting February 27th and will remain in effect until the Interior Health Authority gives its approval to remove the advisory, which could be as late as mid-March. Please remember that this is a complex project, and although every effort is being made to prepare for the work, unexpected situations can occur. Anybody should have a backup plan in place and store some additional water for flushing toilets, etc. The district is, oops, how did this happen? That's wrong, okay. In addition, the chamber is holding, have I got this correct? How does that slip in?
That's right.
Is it? You and I on, oh, the water project.
The district is, yeah.
I'm sorry. The district is hosting a Q&A tomorrow for the public on the water shutoff. It's Wednesday, February 15th at 6:30 at the Arena Banquet Room. In addition, the Chamber of Commerce is also holding 2 sessions tomorrow for their business members at the Visitor Information Center at 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. and again 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. An RSVP is required for the Chamber of Commerce sessions. As we've said before, we realize this situation is a major inconvenience, but it is critical that this work be done under controlled conditions with the appropriate preparation and communication to the public and businesses. Now on to a different topic. The Chamber of Commerce's nominees reception for the 79th Annual Business and Community Excellence Awards, sponsored by Nestor's Market last Friday at the Arena Banquet Room, was a great success, and we're all looking forward to the Chamber Awards Gala, which will take place March 11th at the theater. I'd also like to mention a program that's proved very beneficial this year, and that's the Snow Angel program. The Snow Angels are most appreciated, and Council and myself would like to thank them very much for their assistance to their neighbors. It's a job that doesn't seem to be quitting this year. We have an ongoing task. I've been busy signing appreciation certificates, and they're still coming in. So I'd like to thank the community again for their wonderful help to various neighbors that, for one reason or other, are not able to clear their own snow. So, CAO.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I won't speak too much more about PRV 10 other than to just reiterate that the information Q&A session tomorrow night at the Arena Banquet Room at 6:30. We're also doing a couple sessions with the Chamber of Commerce. That was a invite open for all chamber members. I understand they're not very big sessions, but that's more tailored to the businesses. Two of the things that we'll talk about, you mentioned the Snow Angel program. Tomorrow we'll talk also about the Water Angels type of program that we're doing. Just we have some help to get that going, so that if there are seniors or others that live alone, aren't able to bring their own water in, etc., there'll be a resource for them and able to help them out. We also will be developing a communications plan for the day, or rolling out the communications plan for the day, so that we do understand in this community there's a number of people that don't have access to internet or are not on the computer and Facebook, which will always be the fastest manner to get the updates. But we are planning on manning an information desk, likely at the Aquatic Center. That will be confirmed tomorrow, all day Saturday and Sunday during the weekend, so that everyone will know where to go. But that'll all be coming out tomorrow. We're also doing a full-page piece in the Summerland Review for one particular day, just to have all the information together there. So, and this pamphlet that will be sent to all the residents. So that's PRV 10, in addition to what we've also hire a contractor who went and visited as many businesses and organizations as possible to make sure that we were doing one-on-one contact with them. The other thing I'd like to just mention to Council is a reminder of the solar event that's going to be held on Thursday, February 16th, so this coming Thursday at 6 p.m. It's the first community conversation on solar energy. It's going to be at the former library, or the 9525 Wharton Street. There's going to be 3 guest presenters: Carmen Proctor, who's the EcoSave program coordinator with the City of Nelson, Rob St. Ange, energy manager with Okanagan College, and Ron Percival, vice chair of Clean Energy BC. We're going to be talking about the electrical utility and opportunities that we have in Summerland to use that electrical utility in our advantage, with some of these alternate renewable energy generation could bring. So they'll be talking about the different types of solar, but the main thing is to get the conversation going. So there'll be breakout groups in there to get the conversation going on capturing ideas and questions, recommendations, so that will be brought forward to Council. And lastly, I'd just like to remind Council, it's a particularly busy time, or not remind Council, but just tell Council, it's a particularly busy time for all of us. There seems to be a number of projects that are all happening at the same time. We've got budget and financial plans. We've got a number of development variance applications that are in the hopper. We've got snow clearing and PRV 10 and Garnet Valley ramping up again. And I just want to say that it, in fact, across the board, sometimes it seems really evident. If it's if it's Garnet Valley and it's snow clearing, oh geez, Public Work must be really busy, or if it's a budget, geez, finance must be really busy. But all of these projects are so intertwined, and everybody from the organization are really pitching in to do their role to keep these things moving. We are falling a little bit farther behind in some of our correspondence, and I know that they had hoped to have a few reports here tonight on some applications pending, and budget. We're just not always answering everything the same day that we're getting it, or the next day. So that's my report for today.
Thank you. Okay, on to 9.1. Corporate Officer, do we have any resolutions coming from this morning?
Yes, we do have one resolution coming out from a closed session of January 23rd. The resolution, I'll read it out, is that staff be requested to prepare draft terms of reference in advance of a request for proposal for the disposition of the approximately 3.5 acre district-owned site on Wharton Street for higher density residential development.
Okay, so that's going to be listed as what on our agenda? That's just being brought.
It'll show up in minutes of their 9.1, simply as a resolution brought forward.
No, there's nothing. There's no action.
There's no action to take.
Okay, thank you. We're on to 10.1. Anything from the Correspondence Council? Councillor Holmes.
Yes, I'd like to just bring forward the letter from Norm Letner regarding the BC Government Francophone Affairs Program. As we all know, it's a rite of passage for many young people from Quebec to come to the Okanagan to pick fruit every year. And one thing that came up in our cultural planning, the cultural plan task force was we heard that how culturally marginalized some of these seasonal workers are from the community, and a lot of that has to do with communication with that segment. And so I think there might be an opportunity here to get funding to help with that in that respect, is being able to include a group in our community that is traditionally being marginalized. And secondly, in the same respect, French immersion is of course very strong in Summerland, and there might be an opportunity there to leverage some of this funding to, I don't have ideas, but maybe the French immersion students would have ideas of projects. It's quite a wide breadth of possibilities of what the money could be used for. So I think this might be something worth looking into.
It looks from the message here, there's no indication of amounts. Have you had any further information?
No.
No. Okay, thank you. Councillor Peak.
Yes, I would like to bring forward the tax credit restoration of heritage properties, and perhaps have it directed to the Heritage Commission for some review and perhaps support in that.
Councillor Barker.
Just to Councillor Peak's point there, that the Heritage Commission has already been dealing with that, and individuals can also send notes to Dan Albus, and Dan Albus has spoken to, has indicated his support already for this program.
Thank you. I missed the last meeting, so I didn't know they'd gone through that. Thank you very much.
Good. Thank you. Anybody else? Councillor Boot.
Just a quick thing in the Okanagan-Similkameen Stewardship News letter for January 2017. They're looking for, they're asking for a call for projects. If you have an area that you would like to restore or improve natural areas on property that you own personally, they are looking for people that might have projects, and they would be eligible for sponsorship with, or sorry, partnership with the OSS. Sorry, I'll just get. Yeah, there is a contact email and phone number if you'd like that. We can pass it along. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? Okay, could I have a motion to receive, please? Councillor Barkville. Councillor Boot, all in favor? Thank you. Carried. Okay, moving forward. Oops. 11.1. Director of Public Works, or do you want to lead off, CAO?
Yep.
is Banks Crescent Information Update, 11.1.
So just a note that Dean, Director of Development Services, will be back tomorrow, so he isn't here tonight, as you can see. The report that we included in here today is simply an information update only. At the last council meeting, council directed staff to meet with the freshwater fisheries and to look further into the impact on the aquifer. So some of that work is being started. They're meeting with the fisheries. What
Sorry.
is the 17th. So we will be meeting with them at that time. Other than that, that's still pending. So unless council has questions or any questions on process or other questions that we might be able to answer, it's just for information at this time, and expected that it would be available for discussion at next meeting.
Okay. Councillor Holmes.
Just a comment really regarding the meeting. If we're just reading the report there from the January 4th meeting that the fisheries had with the developers, it was a kind of a 4-to-1 ratio of the developer with the fishery, which could be kind of I think intimidating for the fisheries people. So I would just hope that the meeting is involving the technicians, the scientists and the engineers. And it's not the business people involved. To me, that's would be like having politicians involved as well.
This meeting on the 17th is the district and the fisheries only at the fisheries request. So at this particular meeting, there'll be many meetings and there'll be many conversations, but this particular one, from what I understand, unless it's changed, is the fisheries only.
Okay, so there's no question to sit down with all three parties? There
will be a number of meetings. This particular meeting, it's like any item that we're researching or looking into. And this particular meeting, the fisheries requested that it was with the district and the fisheries alone at this meeting.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, could I have a motion to receive, please? Councillor Carlson? Oh, Councillor Boot, thank you. All in favor? Thank you. None opposed? Motion's carried. Thank you very much. Moving on to 12.1. Okay, CAO.
We'll turn that one over
Jeremy.
to Jeremy, Mr. Diniger.
Okay, so this is primarily intended to properly give to council the written petition that was presented at a Q&A session. There was a written petition that, from staff's perspective, very perfectly met the legal requirements of the community charter and of provincial standards. Staff also received, it was the same day, I believe, a printout of an online petition, which is available from the website sensiblesummerland.com. So that one unfortunately didn't meet the strictest requirements of the community charter. It didn't contain residential addresses, which is one of the requirements in the charter. And as well, it's not in the standard format that the provincial regulations consider a petition. So staff thought it was best to bring it to council as sort of a summary report of what that petition contained, and then to leave it to council to decide whether or not that would be republished. So staff did speak to legal counsel and canvassed a number of municipalities throughout BC, and it is not standard practice to republish online petitions for those reasons and others. So we just didn't want to jump the gun on that without council's discretion. There's no privacy concerns with either petition in terms of publishing them. We've checked on that, so it's fine either way. It's just a matter of what's formally a petition versus just a document printed from online. Any
Councillor
questions?
Barkle?
So there's no downside to including this petition in the other materials?
There's no doubt this particular online petition, there isn't a downside because it only has a name and the name and where they're from. There's some the reason given by most municipalities. I don't know any municipalities that publish online, and that's because they state that there's no control over who's signing or that it's actually a signature, but it, you know, like was brought up, you could forge a regular one as well. But it's just, so there's no privacy concerns on it. It wouldn't be considered a petition in the description of the community charter, as Jeremy mentioned. But as far as including it, there's really no downside.
Councillor Peak?
So in other words, we could accept it as an expression of public opinion or expression of concern from the public.
Yeah, and then I think what you would need to do is if in another event, if council doesn't want to have a policy or a precedent where you say we don't do online petitions, you would just look at them case by case, because there are other online petitions that the way the information's collected and the information that's released, it doesn't fit under FOIP or the Freedom of Privacy Act. So you would look at it, whereas other municipalities just say we don't accept or we don't republish online. So as long as we did it on a one-by-one case, that's exactly how you would do it.
Councillor Peak?
Then I would like to have that, I would have it received as a accepted expression of public opinion and have it included.
Okay, Councillor Carlson?
Just to add to that, to my knowledge, when the petition, an online petition was presented in 2014, it was never verified by any clerk, and it was never actually published online. I know it was kept, and people could view what was on it if they came to City Hall, but you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I never heard anything back.
So it wasn't
Even
actually...
though, you know, there were 2,700 signatures of people who were concerned, and that really, it was seen as as Councillor Peak just said, an expression of interest and the acknowledgement that it was really important to people, and it was done. I would say it was quite successful in terms of the public engagement portion, and the district accepted it, but it was never talked about beyond the fact that it existed, unless someone knows it, then I don't.
That is what our records show as well. It wasn't even digitized. It was simply kept in hard copy.
So it wasn't
republished. No.
republished, I see. Thank you. Okay, Councillor Booth.
Like Councillor Peak, I would like to have this included as well. With one provision, it shows here in our document that the online petition, there were 18 anonymous signatures or whatever. I think it says anonymous 18. It seems to me that if you feel strongly enough to sign a petition, that you actually should include your name, and I'm not sure that 18 should count towards the...
Well, I think if we're going to
total.
publish a document that we receive, we publish it as it's received. So if people can take it off, but I wouldn't feel comfortable amending a document that we've received. I mean, typically we wouldn't.
I'm not suggesting that we amend it. I'm just suggesting that in the total it shows 208. I'm not particularly comfortable with that 208 showing it. I think it should show as 190.
Right, in a summary box.
Yes.
That's fair enough.
If I may jump in, I forgot to mention earlier today we did receive an updated copy of this petition, as well as new pages for the written one. We just haven't had time to analyze them and include them in this report because they were late items.
But because they're petition, they will come to they would
Come
come
to a future meeting.
to a meeting.
Councillor Barkle?
I think with all information, council always has to consider the source, and that goes with petitions, and also with petitions you have to consider the question put to the petitioner and whether all the information was necessarily correct. And the online petition is no different. I don't see in our material anything like the online petition, and what was it, the same question, background, summary, action, petition for? Was it exactly the same document?
Well, yeah, you can answer that, because we didn't include it in here because if council had decided not to publish it, then we wouldn't have. I mean, you can go online and see it, but
yeah, there is a description on the website where you would go to sign the petition or look at the signers, but what was presented on paper to us didn't include that.
No, so that's
you
not.
have to verify
then we
back to
don't-
the
Then it's
website.
just a bunch of signatures and not really even a petition then, eh?
Well, that is the issue with online, that is why the other municipalities don't include them, because there's those issues, many of those issues, so.
Hmm.
But as information, we can,
So what, excuse me,
Go ahead.
what would go online, saying, here's a list of names of people that signed some sort of petition, but we don't know what the petition said? I mean, I really have a problem with this.
I think what we would say is that these are the names received from the website of Sensible Summerland, and probably put that, and then if they want to look more into that, they would go there and look at that.
If I can circle back around to the original recommended resolution, includes, the second part is that the report from me includes information that would be accepted by council, and that this report does include the address of the online petition. So anyone looking at the report, which is published online, could go look at a live list of who's actually signed it, including the comments that are following it and the description in front of it.
But,
Go ahead.
yeah, so that's information that was beyond our control, and it could be taken down or altered or anything at any time. So we don't really know what the petition said that these petitioners were signing. And
I think that, yeah, I mean, I can tell you that within the corporate officers forum in British Columbia, it is a hot topic. It is talked about and debated often because it seems simple. It seems like, well, why wouldn't we include it? But the questions you're asking and that's exactly why it's something that's not, and because the access is there, because a person just has to go to the website and see it themselves, so there's not really any answers, I don't think,
So
for you.
the question, sorry, Councillor Trainer, go ahead.
I just went onto the website, and when you click on the online petition, it says exactly what you're signing, like it says it here. So if somebody's interested and they're on our website and they see, oh, there's an online petition and a written one, and they want to learn more about what people were signing when they were signing the online one, they can just go and read it here. So I think it's fair to include the online one, and then people can make up their own minds when they're looking at both petitions.
Yeah, as long as I mean, we have to freeze the time and place, right? So that the name, that's the key, is that an online one, the question could change or the gist could change. So the difficulty is if the question's not on what was given to us, whether or not it stays consistent.
Sort of beyond the control.
Yeah.
Yeah. Councillor Barkle.
so could an image of that screen, a screenshot of some kind, be made now and then include that with the names?
Well, the petition was received on January 19th, so staff at this point can't verify that anything's changed. If you received a full printout tomorrow, including the page, then we could bring it to the next council meeting. It's not simple.
So it sort of looks like there's a little bit of difficulty in accounting for things, right? So Councillor Peak, how do we?
How may I bring this resolution as it sits to the table? And we'll actually have a discussion on this resolution
Yeah, okay.
as it sits. That the petition to stop the rezoning of agricultural land at 13610 Banks Crescent presented to the District of Summerland on January 19th and 20th, 2017 be received by Council, and that the report to Council from the Director of Corporate Services dated February 14th, 2017 summarizing the written and online petitions be received for information.
Okay, thank you. Have a seconder? Councillor Carlson, thank you. Okay, any further discussion on this?
Just
Go ahead,
So
sorry.
this, because there's more information received just today, this will again come forward to the next council meeting with the next set of information.
That's correct.
And those names would then be compiled
written
additional
one.
to this within the same documentation.
That's correct.
Personally, I'm quite comfortable with having the online petition printed off and available for people to see. I don't know how much effort it takes to turn it into a online document. if it was an alternative approval process and we were going through trying to count the numbers and the people and make sure that there was this really stringent process, I would be much more concerned, and we'd try and collect all of those people who have shown that concern in the online one in a very official number. But I think that having the numbers is very important, and having access to what those names are and who signed it is also very important. But I don't think that we need to jump through too many hoops every time an addition is added to it to go through the process of digitizing the entire thing.
So, corporate officer, where does that leave us in terms of a point in time with respect to?
We would be publishing, well, this report is published, so there would actually be no real change. The written report is printed up on the website as it is right now, and the online petition is simply summarized in this council report. And then as new materials come, we'll bring them to future meetings.
So we would run this through again to receive the additional?
For the additional written ones.
Okay. Councillor Traynor.
I just have a question for people who aren't familiar with online petitions. If we do publish this, is there any way that we could put also some kind of disclaimer or note so that the public understands what we just talked about, saying that here's the ones that were collected in person and here's the ones that were collected online, and just so you know, here's the kind of background on online petitions, just so that people maybe have some context?
Context?
Well, just what we just talked about now, like that there's not as much, perhaps, control over online petitions. I just want everybody to, when they're seeing all the numbers, be clear.
So the motion that's on the table right now is not to publish the online petition, if I'm not mistaken.
Just
That's right,
Right.
it's to receive the
Right,
information.
to receive the information. If you did end up just voting this motion down and publishing the online, that would be new for us to then, if you wanted us to start putting comments with the information that's being published. We're not verifying what we receive. We don't verify it is facts or,
Okay.
when we receive a letter, we put it, we don't then put a note that maybe it's not a correct, or it's just there to have it all there. So,
Yeah.
So that's fair enough.
yeah.
I was just
Yeah.
thinking out loud.
Councillor Barkle and Councillor Booth.
That's a good thought. Do I understand you correctly that major communities which have had to deal with this already have enlarged, adopted a policy of not publishing any online petitions?
Jeremy can
Was
speak
that
to
your
that better
research?
than I
Yeah.
can, but yes.
We canvassed a lot of municipalities all over BC, and
Yeah.
it is not standard practice to republish online petitions in any form. It's typically presented only to council as a summary.
I suggest that since the Stop the Swap petition was handled this way, and the rest of British Columbia seems to handle it this way, that we go with the resolution that we have presented.
Thank you. Any further? Councillor Booth.
I just need a bit of clarity then. With the resolution that says will be received for information, that's the end of the action. That means that it will not be published. Am I correct in understanding that?
The district won't republish it. It is available on the website of the petition, though.
Okay, so received for information, we are not publishing it. However, the numbers that are associated with the online, they will also be included in the petition count, or no?
No, they're simply included in this report, which is published online. And this report could be attached to that web page, since it's associated to it.
But it would still be updated, say 2 weeks from now.
All
As
the
a new motion.
all the staff reports that are related to the application are posted on that website. So when there's another staff report with updated numbers, it would also be
Right, okay.
Updated as well. So those signatories on the online petition are valid? I guess that's what I'm getting at.
We can't tell if they're valid because we didn't run the petition and it doesn't meet the standards for validation.
Okay, sorry. When I refer to it as valid, I mean they are included in the count?
Talking the numbers.
The number of people that have signed a petition, regardless of what they signed, which one they signed, would they be included in that count?
Right now, every name that was on both online and written is summarized in the last page of the council report. And if a new report comes, it will include all the new names as well, whether they're anonymous or verified or otherwise. Every line is counted.
Okay, and you have taken out addresses that are duplicates? Because I noticed that some people have signed.
But that's the issue with the online, is there are no addresses. And for the community.
I'm speaking
Oh,
specifically of the written. I noticed that there were some people that had signed that written petition more than once.
We do not.
You just count the lines. Okay.
So it would show up just here as it does in Schedule A?
Yes, that's correct.
So you got some written versus online and numbers associated. Okay. So there's no list of names per se?
No.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Okay. We've had a mover and a seconder?
Yeah.
Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor? Okay, the motion's carried, none opposed. Thank you very much. Okay, moving ahead to 12 point, oops. I hate saying oops with this thing. 12.2, Penticton Fire Department Marine Rescue Boat. CAO, I guess we've got our fire chief.
We'll turn it to, as council's aware, we had the Penticton Fire Chief here at a committee of the whole meeting requesting funds for the boat. Subsequent to that, we did learn that the boat was fully funded, but council did have a conversation about it at a recent committee of the whole, and this report is following up that discussion. And Mr. Noble?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Further to the CAO's comments, Penticton Fire Chief Watkinson did a presentation to council January 9th of this year, requesting funding. The city of Penticton did not specify how much they were requesting. They asked for consideration from council for a donation. Since that time, they have achieved their goal of funding for the boat, is my understanding. I believe there's a press release to that account. And because they're now fully funded, the staff recommendation is that council deny the request.
May I just add?
Go ahead,
I
Seal.
think that one thing that should be noted is that in the conversations that we had as far as how search and rescue is funded and which taxpayers pay search and rescue, and the fact that Naramata is the first responder, not Penticton for the Summerland, the fire department for the Summerland section. I think that even if this is not approved, if council passes a resolution to deny the funding, I think that some more conversation should probably happen and some more understanding on different jurisdictions. I think it was certainly a learning experience for me as far as some of that, some of it, where the responsibilities lay.
So if I could add that the map on the television now indicates the Naramata response zone for marine rescue, which encompasses all of Summerland shoreline. So from our southern point in Trout Creek, past our northern boundary along Highway 97 and all the way to the regional district boundary just north of the provincial parks. So the zone in front of Summerland is a Naramata response zone for marine rescue, and they do provide that service. The Penticton response zone starts at the southern end of Trout Creek and responds back to the beach in Penticton.
Councillor Carlson.
I don't know if you'll have an answer for this, but do you know why Naramata is responsible for that entire course and Summerland doesn't have any responsibility for it?
Summerland does not have a marine rescue boat, so we haven't had a boat since 1993. And I believe at that time Naramata also had a boat. They were willing to take on the task, and they have been doing so ever since, to my knowledge.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Councillor Peak.
I think continued discussion for good understanding of the coverage as it moves forward is useful. I think the fact that it's really Marine and Oceans that are responsible in general, and that our monies go towards our own fire department, which in many ways is underfunded. So I think our monies are better committed to our own fire department. I would prefer to see this resolution say something something like, and I'll just, the request from the City of Penticton for financial assistance towards the purchase of a marine rescue boat is deemed not necessary at this point, as they have been fully funded. And then if there's something that comes forward at other times, then there's discussion that comes forward with it.
Okay.
Were you bringing that, were you
I
bringing
would
that
bring
forward?
that as a resolution.
Seconder? Councillor Booth, thank you. Further discussion? Personally, I find it rather interesting that Naramata has the responsibility for that entire area, and we don't. But apart from that, I guess we just go with the status quo. But I find that interesting personally. Anyway, any further comments? Okay, all in favor of the motion as was just presented? All in favor, thank you. Motion carries. None opposed. Moving on to 12.3, Cultural Development Committee Terms of Reference.
All right, we will turn that one over to Kaylee Hall, our Community Development Coordinator.
Thank you. This terms of reference is an effort to implement the cultural plan adopted in 2016 and to support specific projects which enable cultural growth opportunities for Summerland. Staff recommends the adoption of these terms in order to bolster and strengthen Summerland's existing cultural groups with the objective of greater collaboration and outreach opportunities by drawing upon expertise within the business community as well as these cultural groups.
Okay, questions? Councillor Holmes.
I think the terms of reference look really good. I just have a couple questions regarding the membership, the makeup of it. One, it's just kind of minor, but we might want to say the committee should be comprised of up to 7 members, just because if you commit yourself to 7, you might not always get that. And we don't want to not have a committee just because we only have 6, right? I just have a question of the thinking about the separate categories of members, and why you think that is necessary. Why don't we just draw them all from the community at large, of which, of course, many will come from the arts and cultural community. My concern is creating an us versus them situation on the committee, and I think we want to avoid that. So.
I think Kaylee can also speak to this, but in some of the communities where there's the category 1, the arts and culture representatives, it's actually to ensure that the arts are represented, that it doesn't become all non-arts or business or different categories, and that the community at large may also all be arts and culture individuals as well, but we looked at different renditions, and certainly we could take that out, and if council was comfortable with that. It was only from talking to other communities and them wanting to keep that piece intact to ensure that the committee always had some municipalities have a specific, from some specific groups, sort of their larger arts players, their arts council or whatever, their museums automatically have a role.
Yes, I think, of course, a lot of crossover may occur with that membership, and in a small community that is bound to happen. But what's different about this committee to previous cultural committees is that we specifically ask for other sectors to be represented, and that definition is just meant to bolster those arts groups by providing
insight from business and health, administration, fundraising backgrounds, so.
But it's certainly, we certainly could amend that.
It
and
could be
just-
amended, yep.
Councillor Barkle.
I agree with Councillor Holmes that we don't necessarily want to limit ourselves. What would happen if there was 3 voting members from this first category and then one person had to leave, got sick, whatever, and then they're all wringing their hands because they only have 2 voting members from the Arts and Cultural Committee for a period of time? I think we could just put it all in terms of recommendations and not bind ourselves to anything. It'd be safest. Recommend 7 people or up to 7 people, like you said. It's always hard to get volunteers, and you might not get the exact profile you want.
Councillor Holmes.
Yeah, exactly the same as we do for, we recommend that we have a youth member. So, we could recommend that we have people from these other areas as well in the same way.
So I think if you're going to do a big change, like the rewording, we should take it and bring it back at next council meeting. If you're just thinking about making something like recommended membership will be, just add that word recommended structure of the membership or something, or we can take it and, because you should actually see the terms of reference in its final form, unless it's a real minor change. We could bring it back next week.
Councillor Peak.
Let's make it more general, let's bring it back and let's do it properly so we all have the good picture in front of us.
So I'd like to jump in a little bit. I think I'd like to kind of make note that, considerable amount of thought has gone into the recommendations that are in front of us in terms of how they might apply in Summerland and what works in other areas as well. And so I think, Kaylee has put a fair amount of time into considering carefully why she would refer to this kind of makeup. So I would suggest that we be somewhat cautious about, significant change to what she spent quite a bit of time considering at this point. Any
Yeah, I appreciate that comment. However, we're very aware that there's more than one way to do it right. For this, in some cases, there's different models that work, and to make a recommendation, we had to talk amongst us on what was. But there are other. If you're thinking something more general might be better, we can take it away. And in this particular case, there's other successful models out there that would be more general.
Yeah, just before Councillor Holmes, I recognize what Councillor Holmes was saying in terms of the us and them potential, but I also am concerned about the potential of having a reduced representation from, certain arts areas that if there isn't some sort of mandated aspect to it. But if we, do need to go back, then that's fine. Go ahead, Councillor Holmes.
Yeah, I'm not really stuck on one way or the other. I just wanted to put it to staff as a question and understand their thinking, and I'll take their advice one way or another. It's not that important to me one way or other. It's going to work either way, I'm sure, and it's good that this is coming. It's all good, right? So
We can also try, if council's passes this one, we could do the first round of advertising. I mean, terms of reference can be amended. As we know from other committees, we'd need to make it working. So we could get it started, get the advertising out, and then if it seems like there's needs some rejigging, or then we can do that. But that would allow us to get the advertising out and get the committee started.
Yeah, I'd like to see it move forward if we can. Councillor Booth.
I just have a quick question. The former Culture Advocacy Committee took care of the Philosopher's Cafe. Will that be a project that this new cultural committee will undertake?
Yes, that would be included. Yeah, anything related, including the Philosopher's Cafe, of course, would be included in this. So any broadly sort of linked cultural programming. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Could I just comment on that?
Sure.
So, the Philosopher's Cafe, my understanding, when it was the Cultural Development Committee, then it's CCDC, the Philosopher's Cafe was under them. But when there was a change to the cultural advisory committee, when there was a change there, right? And they weren't responsible for Philosopher's Cafe. The Philosopher's Cafe moved to the Arts Council, and the Arts Council was responsible for them. That was my understanding. I know because I was on that committee. We didn't do the Philosopher's Cafe.
So the next Philosopher's Cafe then is being put on by like remnants of those of the former committee. I guess my question was, regardless of that, I don't want to lose the Philosopher's Cafe, so I want to make sure that it's not falling through the cracks.
So
and
I
that
think,
it will
yeah.
be part of this.
Right, and I mean, that's Kaylee's role, is to make sure she's got her feelers, and I know she does,
sounds
as
like
far
she
as
does, yeah.
connected with people. So how it doesn't really matter where it falls, like you say, as long
Exactly.
as it falls. So I think Kaylee can give
Yeah.
us some feedback.
Good.
No, absolutely. Philosopher's Cafe has a fantastic track record of contribution to the community, and that falls right within the parameters of the intended purpose of this Cultural Development Committee. So that would absolutely be considered, as well as all of the cultural groups as outlined in the cultural plan. So.
Good, thank you for the assurance.
Okay, council, are we sort of looking at the motion as presented then to move forward? Councillor Carlson?
Yeah, I will move that the Cultural Development Committee terms of reference be adopted as presented.
Thank you. Seconder, please. Councillor Traynor, thank you. Any further discussion? Councillor Barkle?
Well, for those of us who think that these references should be tweaked a little bit, I can understand why you don't want to hold it up to do that. When I think it's council's job to do this sort of thing, to we're the final say on this. What assurances do we have, or how can we assure ourselves that it's going to come back with these adjustments?
Well, at this point in time, the motion on the table is as presented. So,
Mhm. Yeah,
so if it gets denied, then you would, if you pass the motion, it won't come back with adjustments.
You suggested that we could start this process and then bring it back to the table again just to adjust the terms of reference.
For clarification, I meant if it was not, if council's hesitant to pass it right now, I would suggest that you don't pass it and you just wait till next council meeting. What I was referring to is if the committee, if we had the advertising out there and it wasn't, we weren't getting the broad range of people, or it felt like it wasn't working, and working with the committee, then coming back and saying, let's make some amendments to it. But if you passed it like that right now, we would move forward under the terms that are here.
I think, to add to that, I think as I was listening earlier, if we move forward as is, if there was a need in terms of lack of response, or in terms of the numbers, or as the CAO just said, if things weren't quite functioning, then at some point down the road, it could be brought back to maybe adjust those terms of reference. Is that what you're saying,
Yes, yeah.
essentially? So to go with what we have right now is not a particular problem, because then we can, if things, it's sort of a bit of flux here, that we're testing the waters a bit. How well is it going to work in terms of the people we may offer themselves for participants on the committee? And if we see that, we're needing some adjustments in what is asked for, then that could be brought back and we could look at it. Or if it proceeds and the committee, for some reason or other, is seen that under the existing terms of reference doesn't sort of function the way perhaps it should, then it could come back again. And so I think, to move with what we've got I don't think it's a particular problem, because if we see some significant need, then it can be brought back and adjusted.
So you're suggesting, don't bring it back until we see there's a problem, rather than try and make these adjustments that we've talked about tonight in
If it's
anticipation of potential problems.
If there's necessary, yeah. Councillor Holmes.
Yeah, I say let's just get on with it, and let's see how it works. And You know, if it's fine, a year from now it's not working, it's not a big deal, we can change the terms of reference.
Okay. Councillor Booth.
I just have a quick thing to say. Given that we've got the two categories, 3 and 4 members, we don't know who is going to apply, and it's up to council to determine who sits on this committee. So I think that really this discussion, perhaps, you know, with all respect to Councillor Barkwell, might be kind of a moot point.
Okay, thank you. Okay, are we ready for the question? All in favor? Thank you. The motion carries. Any opposed? You're opposed?
Yeah.
Okay. One opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, moving forward to 12.4, request for support from Okanagan Fisheries Foundation.
Speak to that. Yes. So this is a rather time-sensitive request. Came in and from the Okanagan Fisheries Foundation. They want to apply for a grant with OBWB to study the effects of silt from the perpetual slide on Trout Creek and its effect on the fishery there. And their deadline is the 17th. So they desperately asked last week if council would consider supporting their grant application. Details of that are attached. I think they're asking for about $12,000 from the OBWB.
Okay. Any questions? I don't see any particular problem. Councillor Barkwell?
Do you know if there's been any consultation with the Sportsman Association and their similar applications and attempts to do similar work?
From my understanding from the correspondence I've seen in my conversations with them is that they're all working together.
They're all the same people, probably.
It's a large team of people working together.
Cool. Councillor Holmes?
Yeah, sort of my question the same is that, you know, does this complement the other work that's going on of this, and is everybody on the same page and working together? There's no point going off in different directions. Right?
Yeah, my understanding is they're all attacking the problem from different angles, but all working together on it.
Mr. Johnson, do you know have you been in touch with them?
Yeah, the Sportsmen's Association has been involved in a few other grant proposals, and they seem to be, just as Mr. Deniger had said, attacking it from different angles, but all with the common goal to improve the situation there.
Sounds good. Okay, would someone like to bring a motion forward? Councillor Peak?
That the Okanagan Fisheries Foundation's application for funding from the Okanagan Basin Water Board, Water Conservation and Quality Improvement Grant Application 2016-17 be supported.
Seconder, please. Councillor Carlson, thank you. Okay, all in favor? Okay, passes unanimously, none opposed. Thank you very much. Okay, 12.5, Local Sanitary Service Area 11722 Prairie Valley Road. CO?
You can see that there's a petition for this sewer connection. As council is aware, we have a rather odd way of having to handle our local sewer services here in Summerland. Hopefully in 2017 we will get that fixed, but in the meantime we have yet another one of service area of 1.
Yeah, it's a single property. It was excluded from the service area due to the location of the sewer mains, but they can easily connect, so they've requested to join the sewer services.
So do you have a way of pointing that out at all?
With the mouse pointer, which I don't have control of.
Just so you'll know, typically when you're doing a service area, you have all the adjoining properties, but these ones, either they're in the service area or they're not able to be connected. The province doesn't like having islands of them, but
That's the one.
Is it the one?
You can see the little pointy arrow is pointing at the house.
So it's that one. It's not the one next door?
No, that's the one there.
You can, it's highlighted in your map.
Yeah, okay. Councillor Carlson?
I will move the recommendation 12.5 as presented.
Thank you. Seconder, please. Councillor Holmes. It's a challenge. Any further discussion? I think Councillor Holmes.
When Councillor Carlson moves a motion like that, that means there's no discussion.
What was that mean? I don't know. I was actually I was deducing it was beyond her ability to read a lot of words. Yeah. Okay, all in favor? Thank you. Motion passes, none opposed. Thank you very much. Okay, 12.6 Morrow Avenue and Sinclair Road valves contract award.
So as it states in this report, staff did request informal council approval earlier in the month because of the timing and the urgency of the PRV 10 project. This is a follow-up from that for formal approval. And did you want to speak to it?
No. Okay, so is that proceeded now, or are they?
Yeah, so we've engaged Rock Welding on the work as per the informal approval that was obtained. And this morning there was some additional work as far as the pond that's being dug that has started to proceed. So
Okay.
we're moving forward as per the proposed schedule of March 3rd to 6th.
Good. Thank you. Okay. Someone like to bring that forward, please?
I'll do it again. eh?
Councillor Peak, go ahead.
That the construction services contract for installation of 750 millimeter and 1050 millimeter of diameter valves on Prairie Valley Road at Morrow Avenue and Sinclair Road be awarded to Rock Welding Limited.
Seconder, please. Councillor Trine, thank you very much. Any further discussion? No, it's just a necessary part of our move forward. Thank you very much. All in favor? Thank you. Motion carries. None opposed. Thank you very much. Corporate officer, any new business? Nope. No bylaws. Okay, we're moving on to council reports, starting with Councillor Peak.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I've been continuing discussions with the KVR regarding some grants that they're putting in, and Ken and I are attending, going up to the TOTA office this Thursday to talk to them about some supporting statistical information that might help us in the presentation to the LA and the federal representative. I attended the Multisport World Championship discussions between the Chamber and Council, and then went on to the Sumac Ridge reception and presentation. There was more information at the presentation at Sumac Ridge, which was very nicely received. That event will bring 5,000 athletes into our community and up to 10,000 visitors over the 2-week period from August 17th to 27th. So that's a nice boost. And in the Labor Day weekend, the Riga Festival comes on board, so we've got lots of reasons for people to be in our area. I attended the AGM for the Riga Festival, and that was very well attended and lots of interesting discussion. That was a very good AGM. I also went to the, as did all of council, the workshop with the Chamber regarding tourism and the work that we're doing around business retention and expansion, and I attended again that wonderful reception, as the mayor spoke about, the nominee reception for the Chamber Business Awards, and that we have some wonderful businesses, and it's a nice opportunity to meet businesses representatives that we might not normally meet as representatives from council. So I want to thank the Chamber for that that opening session for that nominee reception. I think it's the 3rd year we've done it, and it's really, really great. I also went to an ornamental gardens workshop, and they were looking for volunteers, and I learned a lot while I was there. They are continuing their work, and they will have an AGM on I put it down, but I didn't get the date. It's on a Wednesday evening, 7 to 9 in March, on the 1st of March, Ash Wednesday. And there are a couple of AGMs coming up, and they're before we have another council meeting, so I will mention them. This Saturday, February 18th at 1 p.m., the AGM for the, I did half my notes and didn't do it all.
Arts Council.
This would be the Arts Council, and it'll be held at the Cultural Center. And then we have, on Saturday, February the 11th, we have the museum AGM as well. And Richard, where are they holding the AGM for the museum? It's not...
That's at the second floor of the Arts Center.
It's in March.
Yes, it's March 11th. Thank you.
Councillor Holmes.
I went to a lot of the same events as Councillor Peak, so I won't repeat them. I just want to say the Riga Festival Society's AGM last Saturday, there was a really good discussion at that AGM about changing the name of the festival. So it was voted upon, and the name of the festival is going to change from was the Marginal Arts Festival, inspired by George Riga. It is now just going to be known as the Riga Festival. There was a really good discussion for and against for changing that name, but the majority felt that the Marginal Arts Festival required too much explanation of what that was all about and what marginal arts were, and didn't mean the festival was marginal and all that sort of thing. And whereas just calling it the Riga Festival really does honor the man who the festival is for. So that was a great discussion, and I'm happy with what all came out of it.
Yeah.
And by the sounds of it, who they're lining up, it's going to be another fantastic festival this year. Some great talent, and like everybody seems to be waiting on Canada 150 grants, and they are as well. So a lot will depend on whether they get the funding or not. So.
Well, they're well organized. They probably got a good chance. So, yeah. Councillor Carlson.
I'll just add that I'm going to the Regional Library Board meeting tomorrow morning up in Kelowna, so I'm grateful that we're not here till 10 o'clock tonight.
We don't know that yet.
Yeah, we're not done yet.
Councillor Booth.
The only things that I attended that haven't been mentioned yet is February the 3rd, we had our first Earth Week planning session, which is quite a bit later than we normally get started, but we also have the assistance of 2 staff members, Tammy and Kaylee, so thank you for that. So a whole week of events will be planned again around Earth Week. That's pretty exciting. The other thing that I attended was last Thursday. Through the RDOS, they had a workshop. It wasn't a mandatory workshop, but it was a workshop on personal safety, which included how to de-escalate potential, physical encounters. It was fascinating. It was very, very interesting. Hopefully you never get to that, but you never know. And just a reminder, I know that we've had, and I'm not pointing any fingers, of course, I know that we've had dog owners here requesting another dog park in Summerland. Not suggesting that any of those people are the culprits, but please pick up after your dog if you're taking your dog across the snow in the playing field of Summerland Secondary School. I know I mentioned this last year. The snow doesn't make that go away. So that's it.
It ends up in a different form, unfortunately.
Yeah, and those kids, they get out on the field and it's not nice.
I attended most of the same events. Nobody's mentioned that we did have a joint meeting with the school board just to try and see what areas we could work together on. And also I attended a skate park fundraising meeting, and they have an exciting project in the works to have a free movie night. Not free, it's by donation, and it's going to be a great family event, and you'll see the further details with the name of the movie and such in the coming weeks.
What is that?
The movie hasn't been decided yet.
Sounds like fun.
And I was just looking for the night on my calendar, and I don't seem to be able to find it fast enough.
Popcorn?
Yep.
Good. Councillor Trainer.
I attended many of the events that have already been talked about tonight, but I also wanted to mention we had our first meeting for this year's Bike to Work Week, which is May 29th to June 4th in Summerland. And here we call it Bike to Everywhere Week, so we don't limit it to just working. We like to count every time you get on your bike as important. We have a team of about 4 people right now, and we have somebody new this year, which I was thrilled about. Sandra from the research station has come on to our planning committee, so that's awesome. They're going to be planning events as well. We always need sponsors, and we need more people to help us out. And our next planning meeting is March 9th at True Grain at 2 o'clock. And if you like to ride your bike, I encourage you to come out and help us plan this year's event. We'll have our tent every morning in front of the library again during that week. And also, I can't remember if Councillor Peake mentioned this or not, but voting for the Chamber Awards is now open. And this year, if you're a Chamber member, you can vote for all of the awards, but there's 3 community awards that everybody can vote for. So if you go onto the Chamber website and you click on the Vote Now button, there's 3 categories and anybody can vote. So I encourage you all to do that. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much. Do scooters count?
Yeah,
Oh,
2 wheels.
do I have to push it?
Should.
Work from home.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we now got to, where are we? 16, opportunity for the public to speak to council. And I'm going to be very clear tonight. It's no more than 2 minutes per speaker for a total of entirety of 15 minutes. So when we've eaten up to 15 minutes, we will be done the question period. And I'll be timing people, please, and I will give you a 15-second warning before the end. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. In the interest then of a short time, I won't stand and wait for answers. I will submit these at the end to council. My name is Barbara Robson. I have the following questions and comments. An effective and thorough environmental assessment that meets the terms of reference is absolutely necessary to make an informed decision in being able to weigh the risks of rezoning on Banks Crescent. There is an excellent letter that I trust you will review from 4 Summerland-based professional registered biologists. It's on the district's website, dated February 1, and states their collective concerns about the preliminary overview letter of environmental values of 13610 Banks Crescent. When Lark hired Ecoscape, were they asked to prepare an assessment in accordance to the district's terms of reference? Question: given that Ecoscape's report is dated July 18, when did the district first know or suspect that the assessment did not meet the district's TOR? Was information withheld about the inadequacy of the report to the council and the public? On the January 19 Q&A session, the district acknowledged for the first time that the assessment did not meet the district's requirements and that Ecoscape's assessment was being reviewed by both staff and the district shared environmental planner. When will this review be available to the public? In his November 14, 2016 report to council, the Director of Development Services summarized Ecoscape's report, giving the impression that the development would only impact the vineyard, stating that further review will be undertaken with the environmentally sensitive development permit application. My question, will this be too late into the process for further review? Because by then it will have received the green light.
Okay, 15 seconds to go, please.
To get EPA correct in all areas.
Thank you. I think our CAO's got a short response for you.
Just for council's information, the environmental assessment is one of the 9 items that Director of Development Services has identified as need, and so if council continues the process after the aquifer information has come, there'll be council hasn't actually had that discussion yet.
Okay, next.
Diana Smith. I have 3 questions, and I'll state the questions and then.
Your name, please?
you can respond.
Diana Smith.
Pardon me?
She said Diana
There
Smith.
Oh,
have
I'm
been
sorry.
several notes about what will happen if the hatchery concerns can be addressed, but nothing has been recorded or mentioned about what will happen to the development if they can't be addressed. Secondly, there was the monthly planning report for January from the planning department shows at the bottom subdivision, application type subdivision, and then 13610 Banks Crescent. I'm just curious as to what that exactly is. And thirdly, there was a letter sent to council January 31st regarding the water permit considerations, who owns the water licenses, and what is the status of the various water licenses, permits, and the exchange agreements with the hatchery. The council should have this document. It was sent to you January 31st from Richard Strafel, but I cannot find it on the town website. And the documents that are currently there are not in dated order, so it's very difficult to scroll through them. But I looked for this, and it's not on there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you want me to just comment
Yeah,
on that?
perhaps
Just
a
on
quick
that-
comment from the
Just
CAO.
on that one email, there was an issue with it coming to the office, and we received it actually last night, so this morning. So that one will be processed and put on the website.
And the planning one? Why this planning report shows the application as a subdivision for Banks Prison?
I can't answer.
It's in your master report it's in this report that's on the table.
I'd have to look and see.
We'd have to check that out. I think just to answer your question about whether that report came in or not, Mr. Strafels, it was mentioned earlier today that apparently there was it bounced the address somehow, so the contact was made to make sure that Mr. Strafel had the proper address, so that's why we received it. He had tried several times and not been able to get it through. Okay? Okay, next.
Hi, Eric Tank, I live on Solid Road. My question is a follow-up from the one we just received, which is about Richard Strafel's letter, which contains some crucially important information, including the history of Summerland's water supply. And reading through this, the history, it says that the trout hatchery in 1967 paid $44,750 for the rights on Shaughnessy Brook. So the question I guess I'm asking is who owns the brook? And is there some subsequent exchange or transfer that isn't listed here? And doesn't this rather complicate the situation with regard to the developer's rights on that land? And my second question is, does the council or does the district have any legal responsibility to the hatchery, which goes beyond its verbal commitment at this point, not to proceed with the development if the hatchery isn't satisfied that it has a backup water supply? Is there a legal requirement there as well as a verbal sort of understanding on the part of the council through its policy that it won't proceed if you can't satisfy the trout hatchery's needs?
Want me to respond to that? I think, we've been clear that I think this is why we wanted to deal with the hatchery issue first before we got into some of the others, primarily to try and respond to the needs of the hatchery, to be clear that we could meet the mitigation and concerns raised by both particularly by the fisheries people itself. Just a moment here. Damn.
Press the button on the side.
Yeah, it's okay. It's supposed to be off.
Timing's everything.
Anyway, the deal was, the idea is that, we were dealing with the hatchery situation first because we wanted clarity on whether mitigation concerns that were raised by the hatcheries consultant who reviewed the Pital report, whether those concerns could be addressed. And so we've yet to, as you know earlier, that there will be a meeting between staff and fisheries this week, and some of that information will be more available to us. Any extra comment?
No.
Okay, Mr. Robson.
Mr. Mayor and Council, Orb Robson, 678 on the place. I spoke last council meeting about the water system, and I wanted to comment on the fact that your staff has done a commendable job in mitigating our concerns with respect to Parkdale Place Housing Society and the three units that we have, 150 plus suites. And I'm told that you reacted appropriately, and it doesn't appear as though we're going to have a shortage of water. So I just wanted to comment that we're pleased as a society that the appropriate actions were taken by Mr. Johnson and with our staff, Bill Cook, and mitigating the issue. So thank you very much.
Thank you for those comments, Mr. Robson.
Yes,
Okay.
Brian Wilkie, Solly and Latimer. Just to clarify so if the hatchery says no, we're not satisfied, is the project going to be shut down, or you're not committing to that at this time?
That will be the debate that council would have.
Well, that's kind of scary to think that even if the hatchery says you're not satisfied, you consider going forward with it. That's pretty scary. Thank you.
Well, pardon me?
15.
Yeah, I'm just about done, yeah.
Hello. Eric Thompson. I'm the president of the chamber, but I'm also the chair of the skate park committee, and I just had a couple of little tidbits of information I thought you might be interested in. The skate park film night, Richard, is April 19th, and that's at Center Stage. So it's a free film night, and we haven't decided which film it will be, but it's a fundraiser for the skate park. And at that evening, we'll also provide some information on where we're at with the skate park. We do have a pretty big hill to climb, but, well, we've got lots of time. Also, the Chamber Gala, tickets are on sale right now, and they're $30 each. Wanted to let you know that they are available through the Chamber office, and $5 of that ticket will go to the Chamberversary for Summerland secondary students. And one other note, the Summerland Healthy Community Initiative video is now available on YouTube, and it is at Healthy Summerland. That's the name of the YouTube channel if you type in Healthy Summerland. And you can find out about that big initiative that I believe there was 5 different film nights. That's it for now. Thanks.
Good. Thank you. The press, Susan.
Yes. This is a bit of a follow-up on Mrs. Robson's comment, and I think we've gotten sort of a sidetracked on it, and we all understand that everything's sort of on hold until the situation with the hatchery is resolved. But I think she had a very fair question, which is, will council actually request a detailed environmental assessment that meets the municipality terms of reference before any decisions are made? And that would be any considerations, especially going to third reading. And I'd like for the mayor to answer that.
As I understand,
Because you're the one who'll be voting on it.
that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, thank you. I think our initial environmental assessment was just that. It was a fairly broad brush, and I think there's every intention to see that we do a more detailed environmental assessment, and that'll occur after we've completed our more detailed assessment of the hatchery concerns.
And could I read into that, that second assessment would meet the terms of reference?
Yes, it'll have to meet our terms of reference.
Thank you.
Okay? John, anything?
Nothing at this time.
Okay. Thank you very much, Council. Motion to adjourn, please. Councillor Holmes, Councillor Carlson. All in favor? Thank you.